Still, the Reaper. How long is that business gonna keep up, I wonder?
I mean, how long is crime gonna be a thing?
Yeah, as long as crime exists.
Forever.
He said at university, Lord Van Zeest was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind.
You what?
You what?
And...
I was wondering when this was happening.
Okay, my favorite part about this is that the other ones are PNGs. One of these is clearly not a PNG.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah,
one of these
on
things
the
is a
floor.
3D model.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to, I guess, a wax museum with Mr. Shomes, who's pretending to be a wax figure. I'm trying to figure that out right now, I guess, and I'm figuring out what happened to Baroque Ranzix a while ago, I guess. What is this place? Jones, please.
I was gonna say, kick him again.
Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London.
There are museums like this in Japan, too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they?
The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine.
Ugh. That sounds grim.
The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned.
Apparently, the sculptors would make the models direct from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions.
That really turns my stomach.
That's just one of several legends of the Tuspels family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum, by quite some margin, is the House of Horrors.
House of Horrors?
Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them.
It's funny, because they're dead.
Have you heard of poor taste?
My dear fellow, the public lives for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked.
So, the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop?
It's just you.
Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here.
Does that include you?
Oh.
I don't think there's a single thought going through that head right now.
My mind is an enigma.
He's also pretending to be a waxwork, so definitely has nothing going on. He's back to being a waxwork, is he? What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Shomes?
Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act.
Catching them?
Every half an hour, I home in on the different killer in one of these displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us.
Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes?
My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money.
Well, I mean, yeah.
He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors.
As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. And I have the ravenous iris to consider.
Maybe he is Phoenix Wright. Can't pay rent. Has a sidekick that keeps eating him out of house and home.
Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry.
If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo.
What's he threatening to rope me into now?
Gotta pose.
So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours.
Maybe some other time.
Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril.
He's been ignoring you at his peril for the last... How long we been in England? 6 months?
Almost a year now, yeah.
Yeah.
Half a year, almost a year, something like that.
Also, that sounded like an invitation to kick him.
Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Wait, will he look at my armband?
Well, of course not. He's a wax statue. Don't be silly.
Mr. Sholmes, about this.
As you will see, I'm rather busy at the moment. If it's advice you seek, come to my office tomorrow and I shall be happy to help you.
But the trial is tomorrow.
Shall we say threepence per item as a consolation fee?
That's 2 hours of gas, that is.
Hey, look, on the positive side, I won't be sucking on it.
Oh my god.
I hate that man. Not Schultz. The other guy.
You can hate two people. It's
No,
okay.
I don't mind Schultz.
I do.
He doesn't make me upset like everyone else does.
Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then?
Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks.
Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust.
And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zeeks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zeeks such a different person.
I was sure that you know, Hurley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot, and that you believe it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up.
He got a new pose. Oh, never mind.
Well, it seems
Greetings.
Oh, hello. Where did she appear from? And what she's wearing? Could she look any more mysterious?
I think
Yeah.
her outfit's cool.
Oh,
I hope you are appreciating my museum.
Sorry? Have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again.
My apologies. I am Esmeralda Tospedes. This is my museum of waxwork.
You're the Madame Tuspels?
Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I'm a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather, one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle.
Eh.
Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble.
Oh, I like her.
Oh, he moves.
Quack.
She sounds deadly serious.
That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
haven't we got enough on our plate already?
No.
No. Hey, you want to see my armband?
Not particularly.
Madam, there's something I'd like to show you.
Yes, what is this? I remarked on it myself immediately, and I've been very curious since.
Oh, well, it's actually the mark of a defense lawyer in the Empire of Japan.
Oh, quite the wash. Not quite as interesting as I'd hoped.
What exactly
Yeah, that's
were you?
fair.
What exactly were you expecting from an armband? I'm kind of curious.
More than that, I can assure you.
Did you make all these waxworks, Madam Tispels?
I did. I am the great third generation of waxworks artisans, you know.
Gosh.
It was my grandma who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checked, living through turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Don't ask me which one, though. There were quite so many. Though that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness.
All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley.
Yeah, that's not concerning or anything.
What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness.
That sounds terrifying.
All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trademark excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibitions are reflections of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
People want to
No.
see murder.
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are more models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
Iris, I don't think you're sorry. You intentionally did this. You made a choice.
And that choice was incorrect.
What's the situation with that?
My temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, for a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal?
A dumb one.
My dear madame, what these sparse exhibit... Spa's exhibits needs is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services?
My God, he's dead.
I mean, that's how he would have died if he did that.
Sorry, I had to attend something.
Picture
For a
the
mere
man's-
£500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment.
And that's how Sholmes died.
Bet.
Or words to that effect.
Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he?
No, let him do it.
I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50-shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning.
Or words to that effect.
It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well? I wonder, could I ask you something?
Bien sûr.
I'm just curious. Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Yes, I guess.
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he disappeared.
Stop running away, you coward.
I don't know who's talking. Is that Sholmes?
I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade.
Yep, sure. There you are.
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear Madam Tuspel, save your reprimands. There are pressing concerns.
You know, I'm gonna be real with you. I love her.
She's
Same here.
cute, so I like her.
Yeah, ma'am, like you. So far, you've got my full attention. Hi.
The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She's turned as white as a sheet.
Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings.
Oh my
Like,
God.
me not listening to anything I just...
No, please be aware that I insist upon in payment in advance.
Put him in the pot.
Very well.
No, put him in the pot.
Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Ugh.
Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the two-spell special exhibit. There's an extra charge to get to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Absolute none. There is nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madam.
I mean,
What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only as scoop-on.
I have no idea what that word is.
some French word.
I could guess that part.
Oh.
I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier.
Then why do you need to see it now?
The spell's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however...
Hello?
Wait. What?
is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor.
Why is he here?
He's just here.
I mean, he's not stable. We haven't figured out how to get him to keep standing up.
No, that's one of the jurors from one of the previous cases.
No, it's fine. We're still figuring out.
You know, speaking of jurors, very early in, like, the Greatest Attorney's #2 reveal, they didn't want to show Shamspear for the scene where, like, you know, he's sprawled on the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that scene? So they had a stand-in. They put in juror #3 from the third case with the McGilded, the guy with the knife, the guy who really likes knife guy.
Mm-hmm.
They put him as the stand-in. So everyone for a while thought something happened to juror #3.
That's not
Okay.
Well, then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, I actually have a feeling with this one, being that it was on the 3DS, I think there was a model limitation, and they just kind of reused the model.
Okay.
There's actually a character. There's these two witnesses that you're gonna meet in a later case. They are definitely modeled after the two brothers from the 5th case. The two brothers from the 5th case in the first game with the
Wario and Waluigi.
Yeah. There's two characters in the future that we're gonna meet. They are definitely modeled after them. Anyway. That man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself.
I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even waxwork, in fact.
Huh? Okay, then why is he down there?
Why do you sound disappointed by that?
As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they're always distinguishable from real humans.
I heard that.
So allow me to present two conclusions before she throws the wax on me.
I'm
Look
already
first.
getting it ready. I'm rigging it up right now to land on your head.
Is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit?
Why would you say that?
Because a sizable business transaction took place in this exhibit. What part of this was...
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
She looks as pale as candle wax.
I think she just looks pale, Naruhodo. It clearly seems like she doesn't get out much because she's busy making these wax statues. Quit being such a poor judge of character.
Yeah, that's not happening anytime soon.
No.
He needs Susato back to kick his ass when he's being rude.
To be
Naruto?
fair, I think
Not being a poor judge of character?
To be-
What kind of game you think we're playing?
To be fair, and I'm gonna break the funny, we don't usually see any blemishes off of these characters, so I think him saying that is something more directed to us to know that she had a reaction, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's fair.
I think that's what it really is, but it is kind of funny when he does that.
I don't understand.
So, Madame Tuspels, as you've agreed to my fee,
I did no such thing.
you'll now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
Hey, look, he got his detective coat back on. Good job.
For like 2 seconds.
Great detective power, make up.
Yeah.
I love how he's still posing. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum.
You?
I wasn't gonna say it.
The answer is revealed by a bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds?
You're some 200 pounds.
That is my own money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes fall now. Now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale? Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds.
No.
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds!
I'm not following you at all.
It would appear that you twist this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over, did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock.
How many? For someone who doesn't know Japan, you seem to watch their comedies a lot.
Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
This game is struggling.
No, this is perfect.
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Oh, that's how you spell it.
Neckerchief?
Neckerchief.
Neckerchief. It's like handkerchief, but for a neck.
Okay. Alright.
Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum.
I need to give you the Olympic medal for reaching, like, right now. Like, your gymnastics are crazy for the amount of reaching you have to do in these.
No. He has a point. That guy does look like Gregson.
And don't
You know,
forget,
this is
one of
the
my
one
voice
time
actors...
If this is the one time he's correct, I'm going to scream.
And don't forget, one of my voice actors does Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
Also, if he's undercover, why are you giving him away?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards.
But
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him, with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
Yo, the green highlight on her looks great, by the way.
Yeah.
but you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Ruppence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks is riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behaviour that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam?
I do not.
Can we talk about how this undercover cop hasn't reacted or anything to this whole thing? Just
He's
saying.
very good. He's very good.
He's really good at his job. Like, wow.
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
I thought I was about to say disco, and I was like, what?
Don't
Yeah,
worry
we're
about
having
it.
a disco in the wax museum.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
This whole deduction's pretty horrifying. I'm left speechless. She is so ready, man.
She's not left speechless.
I see I've stunned you all in silence.
You have, Hurley, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I will.
If I could just bring up one point before you melt Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. Including the second one's on my head.
According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So, that would mean that he's a particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it?
The killer policeman Ottermole.
I'm sorry?
Huh? Sorry?
The killer policeman what?
Ottermole, you know.
Honorable.
It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself. A senior officer by the name of Ottermo.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be?
Indeed, it is a particularly grim face, is it not?
It's just an old man.
Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well.
What, were you there?
But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model?
It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things into perspective.
It doesn't.
So it is quite a lot then.
$200. That's about $300,000 in today's money. I don't actually know. Just making crap up.
Lots of
She's
money.
not guilty of a crime, but she's about to be.
Is there anything else you wish to add before I melt you down?
That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right. Oh yes, Susano's not here. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
And we'll do that in the next video, because we are out of time, so we'll see you all then.
It's alright. He'll be melted by the next time we're back.
No, we gotta go through this first, and then you can melt him.
No,